This is a story about someone who goes over the bars at an enduro race, breaks her bike, day's over until some magic moment comes and somebody pulls out a MacGyver move out of left field and fixes your bike with wood, zip ties, and a little bit of love. All right, this is the story about how a stick became a brake lever. Let's ride into it. I was born to hold coffee, not legend, yet here I sit on a folding table at the most chaotic pit stop known to humankind, the Enduro aid station. If you've ever been to one, imagine a buffet line, a garage sale, a battlefield triage, all colliding on a dusty mountainside. Then, add bicycles, mud, sugar, and panic. And that's my view. And it only gets better from here. Well, not sure what to call this story. A story, a confession, a ceramic memoir. But I'm Geraldine's coffee mug. And today I'm going to tell you about the day a stick became a miracle. But first, let me introduce you to Geraldine. Geraldine is the sort of person who can fix a bike, whatever's lying on the ground, and still remember to refill your water bottle. She's got an apron with stains that are part coffee, part mystery, and a whistle that carries farther than gossip in a small town. When things go sideways, people turn to her. When she needs a little warmth, she turns to me. And together, we've seen a lot, but nothing like the day of the stick. From sunrise, the racers come crawling up the hill like ants on espresso. Their goal? To pedal up the hill many times, and then fling themselves down the side of the mountain many times. But you see, the clock is only ticking when they're going down. They're allowed to climb up the mountain as many times as you want. But when they're going downhill, it's like gravity owed them money. And by the time they reach us at the aid station, they are sweaty, cross-eyed, and desperate for anything edible. And then that's when the real show begins. One rider inhaled a cupcake so fast, it looked like he was trying to vacuum seal it into his lungs. The frosting mapped itself across his face like a topographical chart of the Rockies. Another competitor grabbed gummy bears by the fistful and chanted, "Fuel, fuel, fuel," as if he was reprogramming his DNA. And I witnessed, with my glazed eyes, a man pour and then drink what must have been an entire gallon of pickle juice. A gallon. He claimed it was for the cramps. But my guess, judging by the way he puckered like a raisin, I think it was also for the drama. On one side of me, a teenager handing out orange slices like communion wafers. On the other, a volunteer with a clipboard trying to log racers' numbers, but kept getting answers like, my name is Kevin, maybe Trevor, definitely something with ever. We're all running on sugar, chaos, and the hope. A perfect enduro aid station. Then he rolled in. Number 29, face pale, bike wounded, missing a front brake lever. Yep, that brake lever was gone. Lifted up his handlebars to show us. Yep, gone. Around him, racers gathered like crows sensing roadkill. One guy, "Yep, that's broken." Another one, just send it no brake, bro." Which is the kind of advice usually followed by an ambulance ride. Number 29 just stared down the trail ahead. Steep, rooty, merciless. But could see it in his shoulders. His belief that his race was over. And that's when Geraldine stepped in. Geraldine is not flashy. She doesn't wear a cape, but she has this aura. The kind of calm that says, "I've already solved this problem in my head, and you'll thank me later." She sized up the brake, tapped her finger on it twice. "All right, everybody, we need a stick." A stick? The crowd blinked. This is no time for firewood. But Geraldine was already scanning the ground, and with the precision of a jeweler, she chose a sturdy branch, snapped it clean, and then she held it like a surgeon about to perform a transplant. Then she reached into her tote and pulled out a fistful of zip ties. The crowd murmured. Everybody knew. When the zip ties came out, things were about to get interesting. Yep, she aligned that stick where the lever used to be, and with a snip, cinch, and click, the sound of plastic ratcheting tight as holy church bells. The sound of plastic ratcheting tight as the hole. She aligned the stick where the lever used to be. Yep, she would cinch it, click it, and then snip it. The sound of plastic ratcheting was like church bells going off. Another tie looped over for good measure. Then another for extra measure. Then the stick became the lever. Crude, but convincing. Lashed into place with the confidence of the DIY deity. Will it work? Number 29 asked. It'll remind you to stop. Sometimes that's good enough. He pulls on the brake lever. Okay, the racer flexed this makeshift lefter. It bent, stick did, but it resisted. It was like a fence post against his fingers. A murmur rippled through the crowd. Admiration, a sprinkle of fear. This is going to get interesting. While Geraldine worked her magic, life at the aid station continued its usual theater. A woman with calves like granite ate 3 cookies in a row and then declared she could lift a Subaru. A man with a helmet camera gave a dramatic retelling of how a root had personally attacked him, like as if the root reached up, grabbed his tire, and there he went. Yep, he did all this, even complete with hand gestures. And then there was a father on a bike older than most of the volunteers, whispering into his saddle like it was a dying pet. And then ate a banana with reverence. Me, I just sat there and soaked it all in. Because that's what mugs do. We listen. We hold the warmth and the stories. But in my eyes, yes, eyes, mugs have eyes, though they're invisible to humans, stayed fixed on Geraldine and her patient. That stick had become legend before the racer even clipped back in. All right, give it a roll, Geraldine said. And number 29 mounted the bike, pedaled cautiously in a circle, and the stick lever flexed, but it held. The bike squeaked. It protested, but it slowed when asked. The racer's eyes filled with hope. The crowd erupted with applause. I would have clinked myself like champagne if I could have. Just feather it. Don't yank. Give your brake. Your rear brake is now your best friend. The stick is just moral support. Number 29 laughed nervously, nodded, and turned toward the trail. Just before dropping in, he looked back at Geraldine and at me, and I swear he mouthed, "Thank you." The aid station fell into a hush for 3 entire seconds. There was silence. Then the next wave of riders arrived and chaos resumed. But in the background, we all listened, straining for any sign of despair or triumph. Pickleman Juice was back, smelling like a haunted deli, and witnessed, "It worked!" A junior racer thanked him for the orange slices. A dog on a rope walked around and sniffed every sock within reach. And behind all of this chaos, that question lingered. Would 29 make it? Well, when he finally rolled back into view, it wasn't a blaze of glory. It was better than that. He came in smooth, controlled, whole. The stick had held. The zip ties had done their job. And the racer had done his part, riding with humility, feathering every stop like a nervous hummingbird. "You are a wizard." "I just accessorized," Geraldine said. "You had the brave part." And he took a long drink of that water, grabbed a slice of cake, so big it could be classified as a landslide. He laughed, the sound of relief. And then he did something beautiful. He pulled the number plate off, put a marker on it, and wrote, "Thanks, Geraldine." Beneath it, he drew a stick with zip ties as wings. Put it on the wall. Every aid station has a wall of lore, a sacred gallery of absurd fixes, ridiculous victories. That plate, with its doodle of the stick, went up immediately. The day wore on. The sun sagged. We tidied the remains, wrappers, skeletons of what was a heroic cake. The racers thinned until the sweeper came through, calm as a monk, declaring, "The course is clear." And at that point, Geraldine just gathered to tow her whistle, and me, the stick, now retired, joined the wall of lore. It leaned proudly, zip ties still snug, bark scuffed from the battle. A relic. The stick is a reminder. As for me, I ended the day with one last pour of coffee, lukewarm but triumph. Geraldine tapped me twice. It was kind of like our private handshake. Good work. We kept the wheels turning today. So weeks later, number 29 returned with a new brake lever and a box of cookies. He posed for a photo on the wall of lore, pointing proudly at the stick. He told new riders about the miracle fix, how it carried him down when he thought he was finished, and every retelling made the stick grow taller and the zip ties stronger and Geraldine braver. And I, Coffee Cup, was there to witness it all, watching quietly from the corner of the table. That's what mugs do. We hold the coffee, we hold the warmth, we hold the stories. And if you ever find yourself at an Enduro aid station, sugar buzzed, mud splattered, desperate for hope, look for the stick and look for Geraldine. And of course, always look for me. I'll always have an open ear. And look for me, waiting with a hot cup and an open ear. Because sometimes all it takes to keep a race alive is a little caffeine, a lot of zip ties, and the right stick at the right time.